welcome back to Hand Collectibles for another Fanhome review and tutorial. And as always, please do hit that bell notification, please do like and subscribe to the channel, and feel free to leave me a comment, I do read them. And as you can see, we're back with the Fast and Furious Toyota Supra Mark IV. So Brian's Toyota Supra from the very first Fast and Furious film. So Fanhome's rendition of the Mark IV Supra. As you can see, we've got issues 53, 54 and parts 53 and 54. As you can see, we get a screwdriver in this pack here for something else, and then we've got some really small parts. Wow, loads of small parts. It looks like this is going to be quite two in-depth issues by the looks of it. So without further ado, let's get issue 53 out and have a closer look. Okay, so here we have issue 53's parts and issue 53, so we'll have a closer look. Like I said, more leads, if we ain't had enough of leads already, and a screwdriver. We'll move that to one side and we'll have a look through the book. At the Toyota Celica GTO. More about Fast and Furious characters, tends to be what we're doing in the last few issues. Front brake system, and some bits on the underneath of the bonnet. It's not had the underneath of the bonnet out for ages, so it'd be pretty cool to have that out. Got more leads to put in, more parts on the underneath. There's loads going on the underneath of the bonnet on this car. More to do, and then what it'll look like when it's complete. Okay, so here are all the parts for issue 53 laid out. As you can see, loads more pipes and connectors. So lots of connectors, lots of pipes. You get a new screwdriver. I suppose that's always nice. Get a new piece of kit. But yeah, Maypee screws, pipes, two pipes here, two pipes in this bag, blue ones, two black pipes, one shorter one longer one, these connectors, and then all of this. So I think the first job is, I think we need to get the bonnet out. Okay, so for you guys that have only just come to the build and just started following it, this was obviously one of the early issues. So this is the bonnet of the Supra. Very, very cool. I'll spin it over. See, we've done some work on the underside. Yeah, it's very, very cool indeed. And then what we've got to do, we've got this one piece here. We're just going to fit this to the underside. That's just a push fit like that, and it's meant to be like the under bonnet lighting. But yeah, very, very cool piece of the car with obviously all the grills in. Now that can go back in storage and back in the box. Okay, so then now the next step is we've got these two leads. We've got, it look like they're the same length, but they're not. So one is longer, one is shorter. So we want the shorter one, is this one. What we're going to do is we're going to bring this part back in. And then there's two nipples up the top of here. And these are going to be connected. One there, like so. And then the longer one as well is going to go underneath. Like that. So that's where they're going. Okay, so the next step is we're going to take this, the fattest blue lead. Take that out of there. And that is going to go on this nipple right here. I'll get that on here. Best we can. I might just have to open it up a little bit. Okay. I just opened it up a little bit just to push it on. So there you go. So that's where that sits, down here. Then what we're going to do is the next step is we're going to take these two parts here, then we want to mount these two together like so. So like that. Okay, so the next step is then we're going to mount this in these two. So there's two holes just here. This is going to get mounted right here. Whoops. Try not to push it apart, the two bits you just put together. So yeah, it's going to get mounted right in this hole here and here. And then it's going to be mounted in from the underside with two AP screws. So I'll just turn this on its side for the moment. And get this in its two holes. One of them's there. That's that one in, and then we'll do one on the other side as well. Okay, so I've just turned my camera light on, just to give me a bit more light. It's quite a hard angle to get this one in. And there we go. So that's that in. I'll spin this over, you'll see them two screws inside the wheel arch. That's the ones that we've just done there. So that's now fitted in place where that should be. Okay, so the next step is we've got this one. The shortest of the blue cables is 53G, I think. Yeah, 53G. And it's going to be connected on here, this rear one, and there's a little nipple just here as well. So if we get it on here first, might have been easier to put this on before we even put that bit in place. Might have just been easier. Okay, so just with a pair of tweezers, I've put this in, so I'll just give you a closer look. That's where that one goes. So the next parts we need are these three. You've got two of these that are the same, so you need one of them, these, and your longest blue lead that you have left. So now then, going to put this down, and we want to take this one. This is going to go on this nipple here. Push that into place. Best we can. Don't like going on there, it don't. Widen the hole on it a little bit. There we go. We'll try and do that again. There we go, so that's that one on. And then you want to attach the other end to here. That one goes on nice and easy. So we've got that and we've got that. So that's how that sits. Okay, so what we're going to do is we've got this part here is going to go in this rear hole here. And this other one, you're going to bend the cable. It's going to go in that one there. Right, so we'll get this one in first. That way? Like that way. Okay, so there's that one in. We just want to roll the cable round, and then we're going to put this one in there, like so. So that's how that sits, like that. Probably just tuck that maybe down. No, we'll put it up, leave that up there like that. That's where that goes. Then we've got one last blue lead, and that's going to come off, I believe, this nipple by the looks of it. Might have had that on the wrong way round actually. I think that's meant to go the other way, that bottom one. Might have to just take that off, but yeah, it's meant to go from the top to there. Okay, so I've got that in the right way around there. So this one, the last blue lead, will come off the top here and then go onto the nipple on here. So we shall now attempt to do that. I need to just widen these a little bit. Okay, so I just did that one off camera. It's so hard to get to. You've got to get real close to it with your eye just to eyeball them both in. But if I show you close up with the camera, that's where they all sit now. Really intricate pipe work. Okay, so the next stage you need are your two black cables and this part here, this connector. So you want the connector, you want it around this way with the ridges, a little step down on this side. And you want your longer cable, which is this one. That goes on this end. And then we'll bring the shorter cable in. And that goes on this end. So, like so. That's how that sits. So your long cable, your short cable. And then what we're going to do is move this to one side. Just down here there's a hole. Now before we put this in the hole, there is a gap in the wheel arch. I'm going to feed the I'll see where it is. There is a gap in the wheel arch where you can feed this through. Just trying to see where it is. Okay, so just fed. There's a little hole just underneath here, so I've just fed that lead through because it needs to go to the brake disc. And with this, we drop this in its hole here. Back a little bit. Definitely quite tough to put in there. Okay, so that's in. So one line goes through the hole to the underneath of the wheel arch for the cable, and this one just needs to go on this bottom nipple here. Try and edge that one on. Try not to keep pulling that off. I do wonder whether we might need definitely shorten some of these cables later on. So whether that one there will stop the bonnet closing, whether it needs to be a bit shorter, I don't know. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. But there you go. This one keeps coming off, so I might have to glue this one on. It fits onto the back of there like that. Okay, so I think there's just one last thing maybe to do in this one. That is fit the last one of these. And this is, I'll just put this in with the tweezers, might be easier. This is going to go in this hole right there. Quite difficult to get to. So when you think that it's in the hole, it's not. Doesn't help with all these leads being about as well. Okay, so that's that one in. I had to do it off camera because I had to get my head right in there and just try and eyeball it in and then push it down as hard as possible. So if I give you a closer look at that, that is where all that is. And then now if I turn this way on its side, we will, that lead that we tucked through is this one. That needs to just go the end of the brake cable nipple, brake disc nipple, sorry. And that's where that goes. Okay, so that's where that goes there. And that's all that. So that brings us to the end of this issue, and we'll move on to the next one. And here we are back with the next issue, which is issue 54. So as you can see, we've got issue 54's parts and issue 54 book. So if we have a quick look at the parts, we've got some small parts. So looks like bits of the NOS system, nitrous oxide system that we're doing in this one. Move that to one side and we'll have a quick look through the book. Oh, Toyota Supra. What a car. Bit about drag racing here as well. Toyota Supra A80. On the road with the crew, the first 5. The instruction manuals. And then what it will look like when it's fully complete. And here we are with all the parts for issue 54 laid out. So as you can see, we've got one set of AP screws, 2 blue pipes and orange pipes, some stickers. I think these are like the top of the NOS units, that injectors. But it's really nice wide loom. It's pretty cool, that. And some other bits as well. So okay, let's have a look and let's see where we need to start. Okay, so the first step is, I believe, we are going to need this part here. And then we're going to be fitting these leads in. Now we'll put them in the order that it says. So it's black in first, then red, then yellow, black, yellow, white, and then blue at the end. I'll give you guys a closer look at what that looks like so. And then to hold all them in, we're going to bring this piece in. It looks like the same either side, so it can go either way. Yep. black lead and that blue lead are tucked in, and then it all falls out. Okay, so there's mine. I'm going to put this top part on now. I have put a little dab of glue on the wires just to hold them all in place. And the black wire has escaped. Don't want that escaping. Or the blue. Okay, so I'll do that, line the hole up on the underside, so that's how that sits. Then we're going to put this in with an AP screw. So we get an AP screw out. There we go. I'll screw this right through the bottom. A little bit of glue should just help. Then wires all stay in place where I want them to be when I bend the loom. Just like that, should go like that. And then, pretty sure we're going to bend these like so. We are. It kind of goes that way, like that. Right, and then we're then going to take this. I'm going to take the one with the bit on the fatter end, because it's got like two different ends. It's got a fat end and a skinny end. We want the fat end. It's going to go in here. Like so. That's how that goes. Yeah, it's a really nice intricate piece. ECU. I turn the page and see where this is going. Right, so I want to move these parts off and we'll bring the body back in. Okay, so I've brought the body back in. I think I just need to maybe just tuck that lead down a little bit, because this here goes right on these two pegs. Right here. Just push that, it's like a push fit, so that goes in. So it's just going to go like that, so I presume this is going to connect into something else. But that's where that sits. I think I'm going to put a little dab of glue just there and now before I put that in. Okay, so like I said, I've just put a dab of glue on the underneath of the pins and then I've put that in place. So next two parts that we need are the smallest blue lead and then this part here. Yeah, so this I believe goes round like this way, and then this blue lead is going to go right on this end. Okay, so that's that part there. So there's the blue lead attached to this. Now I'm just going to just check where this is going. Okay, so now we have this part. What we're going to do is there is a little peg here and a little peg just underneath here now. So we go under there and under there. And then this is just going to push into place. Push that in there. Push that in there. And that's where that goes. Like so. So that's how that sits. And then the next step is we're going to take this part here. There is a hole right here, there, and then this cable that we just put on this is going to attach to this one side here. Yes. So that definitely is going to be quite hard to do, but it might be easier to do this before I've put it in place. Might have been easier to do before I put this actually in place. Might just lift this out. Might be easier. And what we'll do, we'll then push this in place where this goes. Sometimes they're just so hard to get in. Okay, so I've put them together now. So what I'm going to do is I'm now going to put this in first. Push this down. Tuck it back in where I said it was going to go. There and there. And I'm going to spin this. Then this goes there. And it'll be, I think, screwed from the underneath by the looks of it. I'll just put that in place and then I'll double check. So yeah, I'm just going to put that there in place, and then what I'm going to do, I'm just going to flip, be an idea if I move the firewall out of the way. I'll flip the body over, like so. This is going to be quite difficult to get to actually, because it's all the way, I think it's that one there. This is definitely quite hard to do, because it's like, because I put the pipe on, you've then got to line up the hole as well. So I think that, I'll move the body back a little bit. Definitely not easy to do because of where it's located. And that's where it is there. Just going to get a straight screwdriver. I think that would help. Okay, so I went and got the new free screwdriver that they give you, because it's quite thin, and then I've screwed it into place with that. So if I now spin this over so you can then see the top again, and that's how that unit sits there. So obviously, as you can see, it goes in there like that. So that's as that should sit now. So now we're going to bring in the longer blue cable that we had, and that's going to go from here now to this point here. So we'll put it on here first. There we go, so that's on there. And then I want to turn it and I want to put it on this one. Definitely not easy to do. Okay, so I just had to put that pipe on just with a pair of tweezers just off camera because it was so hard to do. I had to really get close to eyeball it to get it on. As you can see, there's that pipe now that goes there. And the next part is we're going to stick this, it's like a little clamp, and this is going to go right on that nipple there. Now before I put this in, I might just put a tab of glue just on the underside of here. Like so. Back on the glue. Then what I'm going to do is I'm then just going to put this in place. There we go. So that I'll stick that in place nice and solid, and I won't have to worry about it coming loose. Okay, so the next stage is we need these two little chrome nitrous oxide, I think they're like injector tops. We're going to put the two nitrous oxide labels on these two tops, which came in this little pack here. I'll put them down. I'm going to take these out. So one's blue and one's a red one. You get two lots, which is handy just in case you make a mistake. We peel the blue one off first. We'll bring this in. You want to line this up nice and straight when it goes on. So once you go around, you'll line up on the other side. Give it a roll with my fingers. There you go. You can see with that. That's that. Okay, so I've already started doing the red one, so we're going to put the red one on as well. Just make sure it stays the same all the way around. Here we go. So that's that one. Pretty cool. So we've got that one. And then we've got the blue one as well. With stickers, like I say, you do get two spare stickers, but obviously keep them to one side. You never know when you might need them for another project. So let's see where we need to put these. Okay, so we're going to mount them two little NOS bits just here and here. So we want to put, so we're going to get the blue one first. We're going to mount the blue one on this side. You might just want to hold the underneath when you push this on, so like that. And then this one as well goes here on this side. And there we go. So that's where they sit. Make sure they're both in. Yeah, lucky I glued that bit on, so it kind of helps when you're pushing them on, that I've tacked that into place with a bit of glue. Okay, so one last part in this issue, and it's this big orange hose. We're going to bring the firewall back in. On the firewall there is this nipple right here. I'm just going to insert this on this nipple here. Like so. That's where that one goes. There we go. So that goes on there. As you can see, there's quite a lot of hoses and pipes on this one there, which is obviously is going to go in here. Some of this will be connected in here. So many hoses and pipes. Like even when I did the skyline, I don't remember having this many hoses and pipes. So crazy amount of pipes. So I think that brings us to the end of this issue. Just check the instructions. Yep, that is the end of this issue and the end of this video. So as always, please do like and subscribe to the channel. It really does help. And as always, your collection, your rules. I'll see you next time.